YouTube? Is on the back with another story time. As y'all see by that title, I'm gonna be telling y'all how I almost at a family event. So I had went on Instagram and I had asked y'all like which story time y'all wanted, and of course y'all being messy. Y'all picked me, about to tussle with somebody at an event. So before I get into this video, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, send to a friend or a family member, and let's get into the story time. So y'all, my, daddy people had asked, my mama, can I come over for a family event? This is after, he passed away. So if you know me, I'm very antisocial. I don't like, people. I don't care to meet people. If I'm into a room, I'm not gonna care to speak unless you speak to me. There's no bad blood. That's just how I am. I'd rather stay in my bubble. So boom, I go over there and we head to my daddy auntie house. So we sitting there and I noticed they have some girl over there that I've never seen before. Now, before this event, I used to go to my cousin's house and, just be over there with her through the summer and stuff like that. But I had never seen this girl. So this time I go over there, it's a new girl. I honestly forgot what her name was, so I'm not going to lie. We're just going to call her A. So we over there or whatever, and you know how people is. They be like, hey, this is my niece, such, and this is, I don't know who they was to her. I don't remember. I know she was not blood for sure. So I don't know if it was just, the other cousins being messy or whatever. But like, they was like, they don't F with her. They don't this, that, and the third. I didn't know who she was. I was standoffish. I ain't got nothing to say to her. Ain't got nothing to do with me because she not my people. So it comes that night, we all spend the night at my daddy auntie house. So it comes the next day, we ripping and running errands, trying to get ready for the family event that they had going on later that day. It's going to be family that I didn't see in years, people that I only seen one time, people that I'm not used to being around. So I'm like, okay, cool. I ain't got to speak, unless they speak to me. So, it is what it is. So, boom, we have been setting up this and the third. We have my uncle bring in food, put in the kitchen. Because we went into this rented out building. Like, you go into these double doors, and then you go into another set of double doors. And it was like this big old area with all these chairs and tables. And then in the back was the kitchen where was my, my uncle. They didn't really have nothing outside for the kids to play with. It was just like a, a smaller, it was like a bouncy house and like a little swing set for kids to play on. It really wasn't nothing for, the big kids. So once we get done helping or whatever, I'm standoffish. I go sit, on one of the chairs. They bring her along. I don't know what the issue was between, her and, my other cousins. But I was so confused. I didn't even know it was an issue. And then when I did find out it was an issue, I was so confused. And I still didn't care to know because, like I said, I was just in my own circle. So I'm finna tell y'all how I ended up in it and how I almost, was about to put my hands on the hoe because they thought I had something to do with the drama. I'm helping people put away stuff. I'm taking food to the kitchen. I'm setting up chairs. I'm hanging up decorations. So once we get done, I'm over there chatting with daddy cousins. Now, one thing I can say is the older cousins that's on his side, messy as hell because, they were sitting in one circle, like, talking about this girl. And then, trying to get us to say stuff about the girl and, like, nitpick with the girl and this and the third. But, I wasn't that type of time because I wasn't used to stuff like that. My mama didn't play that. And I just wasn't that type of person. So I'm sitting out to the side listening to them like talk about the girl this and the third. Remind y'all, I don't know her. That's not my business. So I noticed like when more families started coming and stuff and like, cousins, we all in one circle, we talking this and the third. I noticed like she was very standoffish. Like she was sitting by herself. She was outside by herself. Now at one point I did want to go over there and ask her like, you don't want to come with us. You don't want to talk with us. You don't want to go eat with us. But that just wasn't in me. At the time, I wasn't going to be nasty to her because everybody else was being nasty and nitpicking with the girl. That's not my cup of tea. So I'm sitting there, and then the last group of cousins pull up, which is the messiest group ever. I'm talking about messiest group ever. Like, they like to throw rocks and hide their hands. And when it's time to fight, they know where to be found. The last group of my daddy cousins pull up. And y'all, when I keep doing like this or cousins, that's because, how can I put it? I'm just saying, I don't fuck with that side of the family. It's only 3 of them that I claim over there besides my little brothers. And, that's about it. So the last group of my daddy cousins came, and that was like the messiest group or whatever. So when they came, they seen her standing off, and it was like, who is that? And why she thinks she better than somebody to be over there by herself? Like, saying stuff like that, like stuff I wouldn't even think to, think that she's thinking. Like, what? Because the girl sitting by herself, she thinks she better than us. No. So I'm sitting back, laid back in the chair, and they steady going. They reckon on the clothes, they reckon on the hair, they reckon on how dark skinned she is. Me, I had nothing to say. Like I said, I don't know this girl. So everybody laughing and kiki, ha-ha, and this and the third. So next, she goes out the double doors, because I know she heard them talking about how loud they was. Even though we was like on the other side of the room, they was like so loud to where like, they was like purposely loud so that she can hear them. So when she ended up hearing them, she goes out the double door to outside. Now remind you, it's pitch black dark outside by this time. So I goes back into the kitchen, where my uncle was. And when I come back out, I was going back into the area that was in. Because but when you walk into the double doors, it was like this little sitting area with all these chairs and like a office desk. Walk through the other double doors, that was, the big room with the chairs and the tables and stuff like that. So when I goes to walk back into, the sitting room where all us was, my cousins was nowhere to be found. So I goes to check outside. They all outside, and it's this one group. I walk up to the conversation they in. They still talking about the girl. I walk up to them, and I'm just like, okay, y'all, okay, like, just try to talk about something else, like change the subject or whatever, because I'm like, this girl not bothering nobody. She never gave us that energy, and I'm not the jumping type. Like, I'm not finna, follow the train. They got nothing to do with me. So even with them, like, messing with the girl, I'm just like, there's no point in messing with her because she didn't say nothing to nobody. So the girl was sitting on like the little swing set or whatever. It was like literally 2 swings. Like that was it. That was outside. 2 swings in the bouncy house. The bouncy house was going down. So she's sitting on the swing. Like she's right here sitting on the swing, swinging. And then my group of cousins is right here by this tree that was not too far from the double doors to the building. They're next to the tree talking cold cash shit about this girl while she's swinging on the swing. And they're being so loud, I guess because they were trying to get a reaction out of her, because they seemed like maybe it was about, 8 of them and 1 of her. Remind y'all, we had, some boy cousins with us, and it was boosting it up too. Now, I don't remember like what happened right after that, because like that was like years ago. But all I know is it caused her, whatever happened caused her to get up off the swing and try to go back into the building. And at this point, it was giving bully. So I'm like, now I'm not fucking with it. Like, y'all ain't gotta do all that. So she gets off the swing and she starts to walk to the double doors. And one of my boy cousins pick up some rocks, because it was this tree, and then the way this tree was, it had a little bit of grass, and then around the grass it was, some rocks. So when she got up, she went to walk towards the double door, and one of my cousins picked up some rocks. So my boy cousin decided to pick up a handful of rocks and toss it at the girl, and it hit the back of her head, her neck, and it hit her back. Now, they wasn't some big rocks. The rocks probably was like this big, but it's still like, come on now. So remind y'all, the swing set is right here. They are right here. The double doors right here. I'm not with the group, but I'm standing on the side of the group. Like, I'm standing on the sidewalk that leads up to the double doors. So let me explain this to y'all, so y'all can see like where I was. So these are the swings. She like up here. She's swinging. Tree is like across from the swing. And across from the tree is a little sidewalk that leads up to the double doors to the building. So that's where I'm standing at. I'm not standing with my group of cousins, but I'm standing on the side of them where the sidewalk was that led up to the double doors. She on the swing. So she gets off the swing and she walks to the double doors. As she walking to the double doors, in a minute she get like up close to the double doors, my boy cousin reaches down by the tree, grab a handful of rocks, and he throws them at the back of her head. Now, as she by the double doors, now I'm like, somewhat behind her, but I'm not behind her. I'm on the sidewalk still. I didn't move. So all I know is the rocks hit her head, they hit her neck, and they hit her back. So I'm like, come on now, like, be for real. So, some of them started busting out laughing. Some of them was like, all right, now you're doing too much. Now, if somebody hit you, especially with rocks, you're going to turn around and react, right? So my issue was when she turned around directly towards me, because I'm on the sidewalk. So now she think I'm the one that threw the rocks at her, and I had nothing to do with it. She turns around, she look at me, and she just starts screaming and crying. She turned around, I'm thinking she gonna look at them because they was nitpicking at her, but she turned all the way around and looked at me. Now mind you, they over there in a group by the tree where the rocks at. At the time, I didn't know she was like looking at me, because she thought that I did it. I'm thinking, you know, she just turned around and was screaming and crying because that was her first reaction. I'm not knowing that she thought that I'm the one that threw the rocks at her head. I didn't know that. So she goes into the building screaming and crying. Then we all looking at my boy cousin. We like, bro, you know, you went too far. I'm already thinking like, y'all went too far when y'all kept following this girl, messing with her. Now he don't threw rocks, you know, in the back of her head. You know, the shit not funny. It wasn't funny before, but now it's not. It's dead ass not funny. So we like looking at him. We like, you know, you don't went too far. Like, it's not funny. And he like, she'll be okay. And this and third. Like one of those cousins, like do some shit. And no matter how bad it is, just be like, oh, it's okay, da da da. So I'm like, no, it's not funny. So next thing you know, my daddy auntie come outside and she like, y'all come here. Y'all come here. Y'all go in, and when we go in, we standing in, you know, the sitting area before you go into, you know, the actual building. So she like, what happened? Why would y'all throw rocks, you know, in the back of her head? No one saying nothing. You know, you got them cousins that just sit there and don't say nothing. Me, I'm like, I wasn't a part of it. I seen what happened, but, you know, I ain't got nothing to say, so I didn't say nothing. I'm just sitting back, not knowing the whole time. She done ran back there and told my daddy auntie I'm the one that threw the rocks at her head. Bitch, you could ask me. I ain't finna throw no damn rocks at your head. If anything about the issue with you, I would have hit your ass instead of throwing some rocks. So she go to asking, you know, all us one by one, like, what happened, like trying to ask our story. So now they was like, they was doing some dramatic shit, like dividing us up, asking us questions, like, was she trying to match up everybody's story? So my daddy auntie goes into the kitchen where the girl, you know, ran at. She ran into the kitchen and she basically like asking her, like, what's your side of the story? The girl tell her that I'm the one that threw the rocks at her because she seen me behind her. Bitch, I'm on the sidewalk. Now, I should have threw a rock because you said I threw a rock, but I'm on the sidewalk. I'm the one that's telling them to leave your ass alone when you going to say that I threw the rocks. So, boom. My daddy, auntie comes back into the sitting room and she like, you know, Zai, she said you threw the rocks. Why would you throw the rocks? So, as I'm telling her, like, I didn't throw no rocks. I'm trying to explain myself, like, I didn't throw no rocks. She go to telling me, like, you threw them rocks because that girl said you threw them rocks and, you know, this, that, and the third. I don't do nothing to nobody. I stay to my damn self. So nobody not gonna talk to me like, oh, you just threw some shit at this girl for no reason, because that's not the case. One of my cousins was like, no, it wasn't her. It wasn't her. She wasn't even with us half of the time. And even though you got like multiple people saying that it wasn't me, she still was with, you know, that's what she said. That's what she said. So now I'm feeling some type of way and I'm getting offended because I'm like, all y'all pointing the finger at me and I had nothing to do with it. She didn't even see who threw the rocks. My boy cousin still didn't come clean. He didn't step up and was like, oh, I threw the rocks, this, and the third. So my auntie tells me to come in. So we walked to the kitchen where the girl is, and she was like, tell her you apologize. So I was like, I'm not finna apologize for something I didn't do. So she was like, you did it, so tell her you apologize. So I'm like, man, I'm not finna apologize for something I didn't do. So next thing you know, the girl just started shouting, and she reaches over, like, over my daddy auntie, and she tries to hit me. That's where you fucked up at. That's where you fucked up at. Because at first I was on your side, telling them to leave you the hell alone. Now I bet you swinging at me. So I don't know how everybody else is, but when I get swung on, I see red. So when she swung on me, everybody that was in the middle of us, I didn't see you. Only person I seen was her. So I started pushing them out the way, like, move, move, move. They're like, oh, y'all not gonna do this, y'all not gonna do this. No, instead of y'all hearing me out, y'all want to keep pointing the finger just because she said that I threw the rocks. For all I know, that shit was a setup. Because like I said, these cousins right here messy as hell. I don't know this bitch. And instead of her hearing her, like trying to hear me out, she started saying, you threw the rocks. No, bitch. So when she slung over my daddy auntie, that was it for me. So all I seen was red. So I threw whatever. I forgot what the hell I had in my hand. I don't know if it was my phone and my purse, or I forgot what was in my hand. But all I know is I threw that shit in the air and I went to charging at her. And I went to charging at her. So I don't know whether if I had her hand or her clothes. But all I know is a group of people got in between us trying to break us up. And I wasn't letting shit go because don't swing on me. You could have asked me. I'm like one of the realest bitches out here. I'm not going to sit here and throw no rocks at you. For what reason, ho? And I don't know you at all. These hoes supposed to be in my family on my daddy's side. You hoes should have stood up for me than letting the bitch come at me sideways knowing that I'm not even that type of person. Bitch, we in the kitchen where they flipping the reels and the hamburgers and hot dogs at. Bitch, I don't give a fuck. So we were out here tussling and stuff like that. So my daddy auntie, I don't know if that was like her goddaughter or her friend, daughter of her best friend. I don't know who the fuck she was, and I don't give a fuck. Daddy auntie goes over there and grab her, and my uncle comes and hold me. So he like, Zah, calm down, calm down. I'm like, man, fuck that. Y'all got me fucked up. I want to fight. Fuck all that. Now mind y'all, these people never heard me cuss. They never even seen me act this way. And by me, like, if you know my daddy, then you know. So when they see me get like that, now everybody trying to hold me down, I'm like, bitch, no. Because y'all shouldn't let it get this far in the first place. I'm still trying to get to her. The bitch steady talking. I said, bitch, how you still talking and crying at the same time? How you still talking and crying at the same time? I'm like, bitch, stop talking to me. So y'all, like, literally us getting as close as to like grabbing each other, but we couldn't throw no punches or no hits directly to each other. That's the closest they let us get. Because once I grabbed her, I don't know if they seen like, oh yeah, don't let her get hold of her. But when I grabbed that damn t-shirt and started pulling her towards me through them people, yeah, that's when everybody went to hold me down. No, bitch, don't touch me. I got about 2 people on me. So I'm like, you know, let me go. Let me go. They tell me to calm down. So now I'm starting to shove bitches. And I'm like, if y'all don't stop touching me, I'm going to punch your ass next. My uncle picks me up and he take me out the kitchen and he takes me into the waiting room. So he just like trying to calm me down. Like I said, I see red. So he grabs my face like this and he like, look at me. He like, calm down, calm down, calm down. He was like, we not doing none of that. I'm telling him, I'm like, I didn't throw no rocks at her hand. So for her to disrespect me, I'm mad. I want to fight now. So he like, we're not finna fight. We're not finna fight. So then after he calms me down, he goes in there and he starts snapping on my daddy auntie. So he like, and you ain't no real auntie. You don't choose her over your niece. He's like, not saying like you should have picked a side, but you should have set both of the girls down, heard both of the stories, and resolved the issue. Not just sit there and automatically side with this girl because, you know, that's your friend. People feel like that's your blood niece. So they went to going back and forth. I don't know what the fuck they all was saying. I didn't give a fuck. I seen her and I seen red again. So I'm trying to charge at her again. So now the older cousins that was being messy as hell, that was talking about this same girl, they come over there and they grab me and they like, you know, just come over there with me. So they ask me what happened. I tell them, and they like, we know you're not that type of person, because dead ass, like, you can ask anybody. I'm real quiet. I stay to myself. I don't like drama. So when I do get out of character, somebody did something to me. So they was like, yeah, we know you're not that type of person. You know, this, that, and the third. Just chill with us. So I sat right there with the older cousins until the situation was over. Then my daddy auntie gonna ask me, can I come to her? So when I came to her, she had the girl next to her, which I didn't see her at first. So I go over there and she like, can you just apologize? What the fuck am I apologizing to? And what for? No. I said, anything, she gonna apologize to me? Why? Because you sat here and said I threw something at you, because I didn't throw nothing at you. So y'all, the shit was just, the whole thing was just messy and stupid as fuck. Like, now that I think about it, I really feel like, you know, that shit probably was a setup just to get me out of character. They used to hear about me, but they never seen me, like, physically in that mode, getting out of character. Come on now, instead of you pointing the finger at a group of people that's laughing at you and pointing at you, you're gonna point the one finger at the female that's standing alone, ain't saying shit. She went her way, I went my way. And, you know, that was about it, y'all. That was about it. I probably was like, what, 11, 12 years old, y'all. 11, 12 years old and about to thump with somebody I don't even know. Like, this why I don't go around people now, because people too messy for me. I don't do the messiness. I don't. So, y'all, yeah, that was it for this story time. I have hella more story times coming, y'all. So stay tuned. So with that being said, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, send it to a friend or a family member, and stay tuned for the next video.